Hey there guys, what's up? Ragtter here, welcoming you back to another Pokemon VGC competitive guide. This guide focuses around everyone's favorite fire type Arcanine. Well, he might be my favorite, but I'm going to project that onto you like he's your favorite too. Now, Arcanine sees a lot of play, but not for the reason you might think. You initially look at Arcanine and you see that 110 base attack. You also see the 100 special attack, and you probably think, well, Arcanine wants to be a very powerful attacker, right? You would attach a choice item or a life orb to him, and you would send him on his way. But that's not the case. Well, it kind of is the case. Some people run offensive Arcanine, but what's really popular and what would really help your team right now is the defensive variant of Arcanine. Now, why would this help you? Well, let's take a look at Arcanine's move pool. Now, the moves that I have on this set are Overheat, Will-O-Wisp, Helping Hand, and Snarl. And these are just a few of the attacks that Arcanine is capable of. On the offensive side, he learns the incredible Close Combat, the coverage of Crunch, you have Extreme Speed for that amazing priority, tons of different fire-type moves, he can learn Outrage, Morning Sun, he has Roar, Substitute, well, everyone has Substitute, but he can run a Substitute set. There are tons of moves in Arcanine's repertoire that help it to be a very powerful Pokemon. You can even put Dragon Pulse on it if you really feel like it. Now, what do you do with these? Well, first of all, the moves that I have selected here are pretty much what you'll see on most Arcanine sets these days. These are the most popular moves, and what you can expect to see when you go up against Arcanine. So, you have Overheat because it's Arcanine's most powerful fire-type move. At 130 base power with 90 accuracy, though it lowers Arcanine's special attack by 2, this is definitely going to net you a KO, especially if your opponent has been weakened prior. And what is Arcanine particularly good at? Well, with the Will-O-Wisp you can inflict burns. Now burning, in addition to doing damage over time, will also have the physical attack of whatever is burned. This will turn physical threats into much less potent offensive Pokemon. Bisharp, completely neutered by burning. Salamence, completely neutered by burning. Metagross, completely ruined by burning. And having Arcanine, who can stand toe-to-toe against these Pokemon because we've made him bulky, will get these Will-O-Wisps off, help his team, and can stick around to deal some damage on his own. Snarl is in much the same vein, and we're jumping around a little bit just because we're going from train of thought rather than the order I have the attacks in. Snarl, which hits both Pokemon on the opposing side, will then lower their special attack by 1. So in addition to being good against physical attackers, Arcanine can also cripple special attackers, especially if they cannot do anything to Arcanine in the first place, such as fairy types, which Arcanine resists. This makes Arcanine a very powerful and very versatile defensive threat. Your attackers all stand a risk of being crippled by Arcanine's attacks. And when he's not ruining your attackers, he's helping his own. Helping Hand, which will go first no matter what I tell you, will boost the power of his ally's attack by 1.5 for this turn. This will let Arcanine guarantee KOs where they might not normally happen. For instance, you could run a Choice Scarf Hydreigon instead of going for the power of Choice Specs, and then run Helping Hand, and suddenly that Draco Meteor, it's doing incredible amounts of damage even without the Choice Specs. Helping Hand is valuable on any team that needs just a little more oomph, that wants to secure more KOs and make more plays happen. And Arcanine is just the Pokemon to make this happen. Now, what else makes Arcanine good? You have the Intimidate ability, and you might think, whoa, Intimidate? With so many defiant and competitive Pokemon running around, and by so many I mean several, but they are very common, Why would you run Intimidate? Arcanine does not worry about the Bisharp at all. In fact, Arcanine is a very effective check to Bisharp, and that's why you run the Intimidate. It will help reduce the attack of everything else, and because of the Will-O-Wisp, the Overheat, and the Helping Hand, it is that much more effective against Bisharp, so you don't have to act with fear when you play Arcanine. Now, as for covering Milotic, you'll be wanting a teammate to help you with that one. But in VGCs, you can't cover everything by yourself. That's why you have 2 Pokemon. So you can run Grass types or fast Electric types, fast hard-hitting Electric types, I should specify, and those will help you deal with the Milotic. Paralysis is another tool that you can use to help your Arcanine survive against Milotic. Again, don't use the Snarl on Milotic. The stat reduction will actually just boost its special attack instead. Now, Arcanine will take damage, that is a guarantee, so that is why Citrus Berry is the perfect item for him. He will restore a quarter of his HP once he drops below half health, and that will basically keep him in the fight for at least another turn, and if you're lucky, it'll keep him in the fight for 2 or 3 more. Now, if you do run another dedicated Citrus Berry user, other items for Arcanine, actually there's only really one that comes to mind as being outstanding. That would be the Leftovers. It is not the best of items to use, but if you are willing to keep Arcanine around on the field for long enough, this will pay off. Now we get into a bit of number crunching, and I won't go into too much detail on these. What it basically boils down to is giving Arcanine all-around effectiveness, without hampering any of his stats, so that he can be good at pretty much whatever you need him to be. You run the Bold Nature, which reduces the attack that you don't use at all on this set, and it gives you an incredible boost to your defense. As you can see, if we knock off this plus sign, we now drop 10 stat points, and that's huge in the VGC. You run 68 defense, and that lets him survive physical hits a bit more effectively. 124 special attack will give him plenty of power to burn, quite literally, haha, do you see what I did? Through your opposition. It basically turns that Overheat and gives Snarl a bit of a boost, but it turns Overheat into an effective tool to KO opponents. You have 60 speed because that gives Arcanine a bit of breathing room. 95 speed is not really the best, but it is not bad. Investing a little bit of speed will help Arcanine outpace its natural competitors and give it an edge in getting off those Will-O-Wisps and Snarls, and eventually those Overheats. Now, of course, Arcanine's HP stat is maxed out. That way, Arcanine can take as many hits as you need it to. It'll stick around for a long time with that much HP investment, and you can count on Arcanine being a force in your battles. Now, generally, when you use Arcanine, some good partners for it include Milotic and Hydreigon, and I'll be coming up with guides for these two later on. But the idea behind Arcanine is you want to pair it with partners that support it, one, defensively, because fire types do have a lot of weaknesses, though they are a much more useful defensive type now, since they resist fairy, and you want offensive partners that maybe need a little more of a boost, are probably a bit fragile, so you can protect them with Will-O-Wisp and Snarl, and would appreciate a bit of help in securing KOs via Helping Hand. Arcanine fits well onto most teams. It is a very versatile Pokemon, and one that you should be prepared for if you're going against it. The best way to beat Arcanine is to focus it down and to use Pokemon that can absorb statuses. So for example, Flashfire Chandelure is actually an excellent answer to Arcanine. Not only that, but Milotic is the perfect counter to Arcanine, because it does not care about the Intimidate, will get a special attack boost from it, and has the super effective Water-type stab against Arcanine, who has a slightly weaker special defense than his defense, as per our build, and you can take advantage of that. All in all, Arcanine, I think, will be a very popular Pokemon in the year to come, and I'm excited to keep using him. If you enjoyed this, let me know, and let me know what Arcanine sets you like to run. I really want to see what you guys can come up with too. So until next time, take care and have a good one. Bye-bye.